CIL 650, in association with Tom Lucas Productions, presents Radio Real Estate.
Our house in the middle of our street.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Tom Lucas. Your name, young lady, is?
It's Andrea Jock.
Andrea, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And you found the place today with no problem.
I did. It's perfect. It's quite an easy route, actually.
It's not bad to get here to the open house. Now, there was somebody missing today here. There is somebody missing. Oh, Bill's not here.
Kind of quiet today.
Well, Bill will be here. We should tell the truth. Bill is actually in an airplane right now, heading to Cabo San Lucas.
Lucky guy.
He's on special assignment. You pay your cards right, too. We can send you down there on special assignment. But he's going to be down there for the next couple of weeks, telling us about real estate prices and what have you. He's on an airplane today, so when you do hear Bill, he's been pre-recorded.
Okay.
Just so that you know that. So we hope you all switched your clocks ahead 1 hour because it is now daylight time.
The clock on the wall says 12 noon. Guess I better get up soon.
Well, if you don't get up, I guess you were late for the Red Robinson show at noon today. You probably woke up at what time? I just set it for it. Yeah, you're probably late. So remember, if you haven't done so far, set your clock ahead 1 hour, and then you'll be on daylight time with us. It's the Radio Real Estate Show. Bill Macklem, the president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, our resident mortgage specialist, is on an airplane. He's heading to Cabo San Lucas, but he will have the mortgage rate update for you in just a couple of minutes. Later on in the program, too, Bill's going to be talking about, well, reverse mortgages. What else is coming up on the show? $1 million homes. You sell homes? Probably not a whole lot you can buy in Vancouver or the Lower Mainland for $1 million, is there, Andrea?
Not too much.
No.
Some land value, that's for sure.
That's about sure. Well, we're going to have a gentleman all the way from Royal LePage. He's part of the Royal LePage family. It's Adil Danani, and he's going to tell us what you can buy for $1 million here or anywhere else in Canada.
Our Radio Real Estate home handyman, Finn Jensen, joins us today to chat about the many reasons to live in British Columbia.
We're also going to talk about real estate. We always talk about real estate in this program. Go to the website, radiorealestateshow.ca, radiorealestateshow.ca, and download one of our podcasts in case you miss someone that Andrea is talking to. You can get all the details, right, Andrea?
That's right.
Right.
Monica Dinalbriga, president of Mummy Maids, joins us, and today she's chatting about an environmentally friendly, made-at-home way to ensure you have a great sleep every night.
It's not a bad idea, too, especially now the daylight time is around, because we did lose an hour's sleep this weekend.
That's right, you lose it.
I'm going to go to sleep, yeah. Our Radio Real Estate News headlines are coming up. I'm going to be reading the headlines of the stories that made the news this past week. Andrea will give us her expert opinion on the subject. And Norm Holmes, the vice president of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation, is on the show. And today he talks about the dividends you could receive by investing in a Pioneer MIC opportunity.
Our mortgage question of the week is coming up in our next segment. If you have a question for Bill, please leave it on our website, radiorealestateshow.ca.
And Mark Jock, the president of Marcraft Homes, will talk to us about renovations. This day, we're going to be talking about renovating your bathroom, right? That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal,
especially
too.
the ensuite.
Yeah, absolutely. You find out you can get your money back that you put into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll chat about buying versus renting with Janice and Cynthia of the Real Estate Corner.
Right now, though, it's time for the weekly mortgage rate update. I know he's in an airplane, but he's pre-recorded. Here's Bill. What's going on, Bill?
The mortgage rates this week, Tom, are really great. On a 5-year close, we have a 2.79 if that's on a conventional mortgage, which means that you have more than 20% down. On the high ratio quick close mortgages, down as low as 2.64%. On the variable rate, we're down to 2.2 if you have a normal mortgage and a 35% down on conventional mortgages. So the rates are still really good. That's our mortgage rates for today.
In the next segment of the Radio Real Estate Show, Bill will answer the mortgage question of the week. We also examine the Radio Real Estate News headlines, and we speak with Norm Holmes, the vice president of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation. And today we're talking to Norm about those joys of owning a Pioneer West MIC share.
You're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house, Radio Real Estate on CIL 650.
CIL 650.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Well, it won't be long now. I think it's the end of the week. This coming Friday is St. Patrick's Day.
Already?
So Bill will be wearing his green sweater. Yeah, looking good, pretty good, Bill. So we have a question for Bill this morning.
Our question this week comes from Martin Engelbrook of Coquitlam. Martin says, I have heard a commercial for a lender who is promoting a 5-year variable closed rate. I thought a variable rate was based on the rate of the day, and I wasn't locked into a specific amount.
Thanks, Andrew. That's a great question from Bernie. HELOC, Home Equity Line of Credit. The HELOC really is just the abbreviation of Home Equity Line of Credit. So that's what a HELOC stands for. It's an actual opportunity of taking the equity from your home up to a maximum of 80% over and above the mortgage that you might already have on the property. And that becomes what they call a line of credit. That line of credit has interest at prime plus a half. Prime today is 2.7, so prime plus a half would make that 3.2%. What that does is it allows you to do a lot of different things. You can use that for part of your home. You can use that for investment for another property. You can use that to buy your RSPs, to get a refund. We're a little bit late for that at this stage of the year, but that's something you can use. You can also use it for paying off any debts, gifting to your children, and you only pay the interest on the amount that you actually borrow. So let's say you had a $500,000 house with a $100,000 mortgage on it. 80% of 500 is $400,000. You have a $100,000 mortgage, so you actually have access to up to a maximum of $300,000 in a line of credit or a HELOC. And you can use that for whatever you want. It's registered against title, so there is a legal fee entitled with that because it has to be registered because that's a lien against the property, but it's an excellent property. So this would be the best way I would use a home equity line of credit or a HELOC. This is Bill Macklin for Radio Real Estate.
For expert mortgage information online, visit BillyMac.com. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, Mac.com. Or call Bill at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family.
Let me just check in now and see if my sisters are with me. Janice, are you there?
Hello, yes, I am.
Janice,
I got my green hat on and I'm getting all ready.
I can see that. You're about a week ahead of time. And Cynthia, you're there too?
Yes, I'm hanging here.
The whole darn family's here. Happy St. Patrick's Day coming up, ladies.
For sure. I have a question to add to Bill's comment, though. On your line of credit, do you have to secure it
There's
to a property, or can you actually get an independent one?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Bill when he's back because he's in an airplane right now. He was just sort of tape recorded ahead of time there, but I will certainly ask Bill for you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today on the show, my sisters, we're going to talk about buying versus renting. Right now, I always figured when I was a kid growing up that people only rented houses because they couldn't afford to buy, but that's not the case, is it?
Well, actually, here's a couple things to look at when you're doing renting versus owning.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to have a roof over our head. We can't live on the street. We can't live in a cart. So we need to have a roof over our head. So this would require us to either pay rent or pay a mortgage. When you buy a property, your mortgage payment can be similar to a rent payment. With buying a property, eventually your cost will go down as you pay off your mortgage. Whereas if you rent, your rent will likely increase. When you own the walls and can make the changes that you desire to the property. When you rent, you are at the mercy of the landlord to make changes, if at all. If you rented for the time you were 20 years old to 80 years old at $1,000 a month, you would have spent $720,000 on rent. Isn't that nuts? In your retirement, when you have paid off your mortgage and you will only have to pay taxes and maintenance fees, you will have more retirement income to live on. In your retirement, if you are renting, your rent payment will likely increase and you will have less retirement income to live on. It's funny that people have a lower standard to rent a place than they do to buy a place. History has shown that today owning a property will make you a good return on your investment. After traveling around the world, 85% of the world lives in poverty. We live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and even our worst pieces of real estate will eventually pay out provided you have bought smartly. And so for any more information, call a Real Estate Corner at 604-842-0259 or Google the realestatecorner.ca, not .com.
Let me ask you a question here. When somebody is talking to you about buying or renting, do they say if you rent a place, at least you're not responsible for the maintenance?
Right, correct, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Because that's good for a guy like me.
Well, no, but okay, but that's if the landlord's going to do it.
No, that's true too. That's why we have people on the show to help us through the day, right?
And you look at the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment at $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in the West End. I mean, that's crazy. If you do that for 5 years, even at $2,000 a month, I mean, that's $60,000. That's crazy, and that's in 5 years.
Absolutely.
And it's more than 60. More than 60. Yeah, it's more than that. You'd make a hefty down payment, but people are saying I can't afford it. But over 5 years, you're going to be paying $60,000. That's crazy. That is just crazy. 720 is nuts too, though. If you look at it, if you've been over the whole life.
Makes a lot of sense what you're saying. So the best thing to do is to get in touch with one of you ladies, and you can help them out if they have any questions about renting or buying, right?
100%.
Now, we should give your phone number right in the middle of our conversation today. What number should they call if you do want to get some more information?
604-842-0259.
All right, that's 604-842-0259, right?
Right? And we have a new listing.
Okay.
I have a new listing at 2001 1455 House Street, the award-winning palm area with interiors designed by Robert Lettingham. Gorgeous 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,120 square feet. Overlooks a sky garden with views of English Bay. Only 3 units per floor, priced at $1.7. If you're out and about, check out theater sports at the Improv Granville Island Center for Shamrock Shenanigans. If you have any questions related to your real estate needs, call Janice or Cynthia at the Real Estate Corner at 842-0259 or Google the realestatecorner.ca, not .com.
And you ladies will recognize me. I'll be the guy with the green hat on Friday down at the corner. So,
Right, yeah, I'm going to be with you. We're going to have a green beer.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. Janice, Cynthia, thank you very much for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Hey, Tom, I just wanted to let you know that we have another show coming up, and if anyone is interested in coming to visit us at the Real Estate Corner, or we are exhibiting at the Vancouver International Home and Garden Show at the Coliseum, April 26th to the 30th. If you need tickets or you want any information about the show, please call Janice or Cynthia at the Real Estate Corner at 604-842-0259 or Google the realestatecorner.ca.
Sounds fantastic. We'll come down and see you.
Wonderful. Perfect.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Get in touch with Janice or Cynthia. Email the real estate corner at yahoo.com or call 604-842-0259. That's 604-842-0259.
Thank you, Andrea. Now, coming up, we're going to be chatting about the real estate stories that made the headlines this past week. We'll also speak with Norm Holmes, the Vice President of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation, about why he feels a MIC investment could make you a very happy camper. And Dill Denani from Royal LePage will talk about those $1 million homes.
Hi, this is Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing with our president expert, Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgage, producer Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate, Vancouver's original on-air open house on CIL 650.
CIL 650. Baby, you're the rich man. Baby, you're the rich man. Baby, you're the rich man too. Baby, you're the rich man. Baby.
I like what they're singing about, Baby, You're a Rich Person Too. It's Tom Lucas along with Andrea Jock. It's the Radio Real Estate Show on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650. Norm Holmes, who is the Vice President of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation, joins us now. He's at the other end of the phone line. Hello there, Norman.
Hello, Tom. We've discussed previously rates of return in other shows, and we've explained that a long-term yield of 6% annually is historically the highest return that investors should expect.
Isn't that also probably one of the biggest returns that a MIC will offer over there at Pioneer West?
Yes, that's right, Tom.
The 6% return seems low when I talk to people about their stocks and their gains. What about that, Norm?
I like to use a golf analogy. When someone talks about their golf game, they tell you about their best holes, a birdie or maybe a spectacular par, but they never tell you about the triple bogeys that they also had in the same round.
I see. And with stocks and investment returns, we all like to impress our friends by telling them about our best returns. And with one stock in particular, we don't exactly want to talk to them about the investment we lost 30% on, right, Norm?
Exactly. And in order to get a net long-term return of 6%, investors with stocks are getting some great returns and some losses to balance that all out. The Pioneer West MIC shares just continue to slowly grow each year.
Now, Norm, tell me, how many years has Pioneer West MIC shares provided their return of 6% and over?
9 out of 11 years, and the two lowest returns were 5.5% and 5.7%.
You know, that's really impressive.
Yes, it is, Tom. This is Norm Holmes of Radio Real Estate.
For more information, call Norm Holmes at 604-987-1420. That's 604-987-1420.
So I had this spare $1 million in my pocket. I called a friend of mine who works over at Royal LePage, and his name, by the way, is Adil Denani. Adil, hello there. How are you?
Tom, good to be with you again.
I said, Adil, I had the spare $1 million in my pocket. Then you started laughing at me.
Are you ready to write a check today, Tom?
I'm ready. Listen, for you, buddy, anytime. Tell me, where can I buy for $1 million these days?
So, I mean, we just released we had a media release this week that outlined exactly what $1 million gets you across the country. And obviously there's stark differences between the metropolitan areas, major metropolitan cores like Toronto, Vancouver, versus areas like, Winnipeg and further east. Out here in Vancouver, it's slim pickings around the $1 million price point. You're generally getting homes, if you can even find one. Right now, there's probably 3 to 4 livable homes in that $1 million price range, more on the east side of Vancouver, that will require work and typically on extremely small lots, between 2,500 and 3,500 square foot lots.
It's amazing because back in the 1960s, my parents bought a little place up by the UBC on a little 33-foot lot, and I think they paid maybe $16,000 for it. And nowadays, holy cow, I couldn't even afford to move back into my old house that I grew up in.
Yeah, times have certainly changed, and the $1 million in terms of purchasing power, there's certainly a big difference from even 10 years ago.
So let's suppose you're out with a young couple and you're looking around for homes, and they thank you to the bank of mom and dad. They can come up with a down payment. What do you tell them? What are they looking for? What are their needs? What do you say to them when you have them in your car?
Well, there's typically 4 things that buyers look for. One, I'm finding nowadays, the millennials and even folks in their 40s that are moving up in the market, they're looking for access to amenities. That's very important. I think that there's a general realization in the market that, you're not going to be able to live in downtown, in a single family home, or even the surrounding kind of core of the city, like the west side or east side. So there's a general acceptance that, look, we're going to have to look further east. And we've seen a huge migration into transit-connected communities like Burnaby, Richmond, and now even the Tri-Cities with the implementation of the Evergreen Line. People are appreciating areas that, have great amenities, have good schools, and have a lifestyle offering, and are still relatively connected to Vancouver and the downtown core.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And, I'm based in the Tri-Cities, so we are seeing a lot of people coming. I'm in Port Moody, a lot of families moving from North Vancouver, finding that they love Port Moody because of the amenities and the nature and things that Port Moody has to offer.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of comparisons, actually. I've worked with folks that have come from Vancouver and have purchased in Port Moody. They've actually toured the Tri-Cities and ultimately end up settling in Port Moody. It's got that lifestyle offering, and I've heard a lot of comparisons.
It has a little bit of a North Van deal, with
the
mountains and the trees and the ocean and the lakes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if there's a young couple out there, some millennials that are thinking about, hey, I have a spare $1 million to go buy a house, maybe think again if you want to live in downtown Vancouver, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tom, the reality is, and Andrea could probably speak to this as well, even $1 million nowadays in the Tri-Cities doesn't go a long way. You really have to spend time, sift through the inventory and dig deep to try to find, that special one in that $1 million price range. But even nowadays, buyers are required to have a bit of flexibility in terms of, what they're looking for. They may have an ideal search to start with, and then that will evolve, as they begin to realize that $1 million range doesn't necessarily get you everything you want.
No, but where I'm finding now, my clients from the Tri-Cities are actually finding what they like out in Maple Ridge. And there's some beautiful homes. There's a new development by Morningstar I just had a client purchase in. Brand new, gorgeous homes, open floor plans. But yeah, just adjusting to making that move out of the community that they live in and going to a whole new area. And when you speak of amenities, that really is important to people.
Adil, you say that, if you have $1 million in your pocket and you want to buy a nice place to live, go east. Where should I stop? Halifax?
That would be a good start. Winnipeg actually has the most compelling offering. I mean, you could buy a stunning modern home, brand new, large lot, under $1 million. And I would say the Vancouver comparison to that home would probably be somewhere in the $3.5 to $4.5 million range.
So if you have a spare $1 million and need some more money, go and see either Bill Macklem at Dominion Macklem Mortgages or the Bank of Mom and Dad, right? And then call our friend over at Royal LePage. Adil will take care of you, right, buddy?
Pleasure, Tom. Thank you.
Listen, before you go, is there a phone number if somebody wants to give you a call?
Yeah, you can reach me directly at 604-771-3495 or at the website Ask Adil. That's askadil.com.
Fantastic. Have a great week. We'll get you back on the show real soon.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Adil. Enjoy your weekend. And again, Adil's telephone number at Royal LePage is 604-771-3495. That's 604-771-3495. It's time now for the Radio Real Estate News headlines. I feel like a news guy every time this comes on. It's 20 minutes past the hour. Time now for some stories. Are you ready?
Ready.
And just see what you think about these. In hopes of some reasonable deadlines, our Finance Minister, Mike DeYoung, says that he's going to be pumping some cash into the housing pipeline. He says he's doing this in an effort to maybe, I guess, unclog the drain, as it were.
Yeah, that's very interesting. As Mike was unveiling in a recent interview, his plan is to offer money to municipalities in offer for exchange for reasonable deadlines in permitting, rezoning, and approval processes. So what's interesting, as we spoke with Mark last time on the show with Mark Raft Homes, he was saying it can take up to a year to actually just get your building permit.
That's
and then
right.
it takes up to another year or so to build. So you're 2 years out. And I think for people that need homes today, or they're excited, they want to be in it, that's a long time.
It is a long time to wait.
Yeah. So, and also when we look at, the shortage of the multifamily developments, right? So, I'm used to seeing around 900 listings for multifamily homes in the Tri-Cities, and we only have about 300
Really?
for sale now.
Wow.
So if developers want to build these great developments, but they're taking so long to get through the approval process, it's just making people wait a really long time.
All right. A lot of people say that house sales are down, and it could be because of low supply. It could be because of the weather. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. I think it's for both reasons. Definitely, we're seeing lower inventory on the market right now, so buyers have less to choose from. But absolutely, the weather played a big part in it. We had a listing out in Belcara, and when it was snowing buckets, I had buyers that really wanted to come out to see a home, and we couldn't do it. The liability for if anybody slips or falls, or if you're not clearing that driveway properly, and we had quite a steep driveway, so it was too risky to have clients come out and look. So we may have lost the sale because of that.
Wow. So the weather does play an important part of it, right?
It does, for sure.
Okay, there's now a feasibility study going on to determine whether or not there should be SkyTrain service to the North Shore. Do you feel this is going to increase the property values? Now, I know that where you come from, the town of the Tri-Cities, we recently had SkyTrain put through there. Has it helped?
Well, really interesting. Definitely in the core, the little hub around the SkyTrain, for sure. So, the condos and that Cedarbrook area, Newport Village, the condos and townhomes in those areas, absolutely. A lot of people are using that as a form of transportation to get to work. For single family homes, we haven't really seen too much of an impact. I think in those price points over $1 million, people typically take their cars anyways. I think they feel that maybe on a special occasion they might use a SkyTrain, but it's not a daily thing for them.
Okay, now we touched on this briefly last week. Some huge homes, some larger than 22,000 square feet, continue to be built on agricultural reserve land, most of them in Richmond or Delta. What do you think about that?
Well, interesting, Tom, because as I was driving in this morning, I had a chance to see some of these large homes, on the way here. I might not be the right person to comment on this, only because being in the luxury market, I honestly happen to like large, big, beautiful homes. So for me, I think it's kind of neat to see these, it creates a market. You need a market for everything. So in California, you have big, beautiful homes that create command price points of 20 million plus. So that actually helps everybody in the surrounding neighborhoods to have a big fancy home like that.
I see those big fancy homes, the ones with all the lights in the roof there.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, what happens when one of those lights goes off?
Well, yeah, I hear you. But a well-done luxury custom home that is large, if it's done properly and it has a nice design, it can really maybe benefit a neighborhood.
And I guess if you could afford to buy one of those homes, you could probably afford to get your son up there to change a light bulb.
You'd hope so.
Or somebody. Here's a good question for you. It says, condo lobbies should create a first impression. While floor plans and amenities top the buyer's list for condos, each building has an opportunity to make a first impression, and that's the lobby. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I think first impressions are huge. And especially, even in an older development, my parents actually lived in a beautiful condo in Newport Village. Now, the interesting thing, they did a big renovation, and the house was stunning inside. But when you walked in, the lobby wasn't renovated. And then when you went opened up the door, and the hallways were kind of old and dingy, and then you walk into a beautifully renovated condo, there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
So once they actually had the lobby renovation, it was amazing because it helped with that whole first impression picture. So you walk into a nice lobby and a renovated condo.
I've seen that in a lot of real estate pictures. I'll see some condos that have been redone. They've been renovated. They've been beautiful. But the outside of the building and the lobbies is not the greatest.
Yeah. So lobbies are so important. And actually for newer developments, they're making them very fancy, almost like a hotel lounge. You get the fireplace sitting area. So they look great.
That's fantastic. So if you have a hotel lobby, an apartment, if you have a lobby of any sort, make it look good, right? Hotel, condo.
Hotel.
Make your living room look good if you walk right in there.
Yeah,
You
for
got
sure.
it. All right, that's Radio Real Estate News headlines. We'll do this again next week. Bill will be back with us. It's Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CRL 650. And coming up in the next segment, Andrea, what do we have for the folks?
Our next segment, Monica Dino Briga, president of Mummy Maids, talked to us about all natural, made at home, environmentally friendly cleaning solutions to a great night's sleep.
Hello there, it's Tom Lucas and the co-host Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing. Bill Macklin's on an airplane heading to Cabo San Lucas. I gave him the keys to the country for the weekend. He is the president of Dominion Macklin Mortgages. Our producer is Dwayne Bishop, and you're listening to Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650.
CIL 650. The cleanup woman, 'cause she's tough. I mean, she really cleans up.
You know, the cleanup woman needs to be tough because she comes to my house, and boy, that's a tough job. Let me tell you. I throw stuff on the floor. Monica's coming over, just throwing it on the floor. Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650. Time now for the eco-friendly cleaning person of the week. Her name is Monica Dino Briga. She is the founder and the president of Mummy Maids. Monica, what's happening today?
Hi. We spend a third of our life sleeping, so it's important to make sure the room you're catching your Z's in is detoxified as much as possible. To rid your bedroom of environmental toxins and harmful VOCs, volatile organic compounds that easily become vapors and gases, choose a natural mattress, ensure paint is low VOC, and choose natural furniture that doesn't off-gas into the future. Remove all scented candles, scented plug-ins, and sprays that are adding chemicals into the air. Finally, adding household plants to reduce indoor pollution is really key. Not only does the greenery enhance your space, it helps to purify the air naturally. For a restful, safe, healthy sleep, this is Monica Dinabriga for Radio Real Estate.
Mummy Maids will clean your castle with no hassle. Call Monica at 604-533-4959. 604-533-4959. Or visit mummymaids.com. That's mummymaids.com.
I am building my house, I am building it strong. And if I have your help, I know I can't go wrong. I'm building my house out of brick and stone. I can't do it myself, I can't do it alone.
Well, I don't know how old this old house is. It's pretty old, right? Yeah, it's pretty old. It was nice and new one time, but now we've got to do some renovations. And I know just the guy to call.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we have called him. His name is Mark. He's on the line right now from Mark Craft Homes. Mark, hi there. How are you?
Well, hello, Tom and Andrea.
Hi, Mark.
How are you?
Welcome. I'm fine. Welcome back to the program. Nice to have you with us. And we talked about renovations last week, and I asked you, I said, what were the two most important rooms in the house or the condo to have done? You said, number one, the bedroom, the kitchen, or the bathroom, right?
Yeah, definitely kitchens and bathrooms, as you mentioned, add great value on resale to a property. You know, it's not straightforward anymore in terms of renovation because we're looking at a hazmat issue with a lot of the older homes. Before we start, we've got to make the workplace safe. And that means we need to get drywall and asbestos tested. And hopefully we don't find any, but when we do, we've got to bring in the hazmat team and remove all hazardous material, which adds cost to the project.
When you were singing that you bring in the hazmat team, I thought you already saw my bathroom.
Yeah, well, that can happen too, can it?
Let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
So, Mark, what would you say are some special features for a master ensuite that you'd like to renovate, or what are you seeing people are wanting to include in their ensuite renovation?
Well, you know, when possible, when you talk about it really depends on the structure of the existing home. A lot of the homes built in the 80s and 90s are remodeled have the standard smaller three-bedroom layout. So we recommend creating 2 bedrooms and having an ample and substantial ensuite rather than trying to fit everything into a 3-bedroom plan. And also open up where we can, get rid of those old structural walls and do some post and beam development, bring that structure down to bearing points, and open that house up because everybody everybody likes to feel openness in today's plans. So if you're going to spend money in a kitchen area or bathroom area, make sure you have ample space and lots of light and openness to the plan before you start spending that money.
Now, Mark, do you find that older people are looking for different amenities in the washroom than, say, younger folks are?
Depends on how you define old people.
Well, that's true, too. Well, put it this way.
Am I an old guy? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But,
you're still mobile. You're still a working guy. You're still a young man.
He doesn't even have gray hair yet. I'm really.
So, I mean, older people, if there are folks that really need handicap provisions, we're there to assist in all regards.
Right.
With proper safety rails, lower thresholds, a number of things. They tend to be a little bit more utilitarian than maybe what the younger person is looking for, which is more of a sleeker, sexier look, so to speak. Right?
Oh, you've seen in my other bathroom, have you? The ensuite, the sexy one. I was in an open house one day, and I took a tour of the washroom, not only because I had to use it, but because they'd done some renovations in there. And they had some of those people you were talking about in wheelchairs, Mark. And what they did is they lowered some of the counters so the people could get at them nicely with their wheelchairs.
Yeah. Well, over-under spaces. Yeah. And, there are a number of things. There's also the tubs that I haven't installed one, Tom, but the tubs that actually you swing the doors open and you can actually, kind of lift yourself right into it.
Or you could pay some big bucks and have someone else lift you into it.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. Now, listen, I know that you're full of ideas. How does the process begin? I want to do some work in the washroom, so I call Mark Craft Homes. You come over, and then what do we do?
Well, we do. We together with our clients, we do an assessment of their home. But primarily, Tom, I think I touched on this last week. You've got to begin with a realistic attitude towards your dollar expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find that. I know a lot of people think, don't ever tell a builder how much you want to spend because they're going to spend all of that and more. Well, in actual fact, that's not the case. We try and work within the budget that is set financially by the client, and then focus in on the things that we can do to accomplish most of their requirements, if not all of them.
So I guess the most important thing is when I call you over to my place is to sit down with you and go for a tour and you ask some questions, I give you some answers, I tell you what I'm looking for, right?
That's the beginning. And then we have to look at, we're going to, every good beginning of a renovation starts with a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd like to, at that point in time, bring in our interior designers or our draft people to do a layout, and then we can start pricing out the layout and the specs accordingly.
You said everything begins with a good plan. Is that how our friend Andrea was?
No, that was a mistake.
That was
a beautiful mistake. What a beautiful mistake.
Oh, it's too late now, Dad. It's too late now.
Sorry.
That's okay. We know we're just kidding. Listen, Mark, if somebody wants to get a hold of you during the week, is there a special telephone number they can give us a buzz on?
Tom, I would normally suggest it, but unfortunately, my cell phone has been compromised down here. So I'm getting about 100 calls a day from people I don't know.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say somebody flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that yet. I feel like it. But it's 604-724-5322, and you can get in touch with my son, Matt.
Sounds good.
I'll get this fixed up.
He's our project manager.
Is he? Okay, then he'll know, right?
He'll know.
He'll know where Dad's phone is, yes.
Yep.
So listen, you enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next weekend on the show.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care.
Bye, Dad.
Nice guy. Even if he is your dad, he's a nice guy.
He's a pretty nice guy.
What would he say? It was a mistake when he made you? I'm just kidding.
The best mistake he ever made.
Yeah, so Mark Craft is in the Tri-Cities. Yes. Mark Craft.
Mark Craft.
I don't know Mark Craft, but it's Mark Craft.
No, yeah, we're Mark Craft.
Yes, and you're right on the main drag.
Yeah, we're located right on St. John, so anytime people can come in and discuss ideas or answer or ask any questions they like, we'd be happy to help.
Fantastic. Can you tell us what else is coming up on the show this afternoon? Or this morning, or today, or whenever somebody is listening to the program?
Bill, and we'll be chatting about reverse mortgages.
Yeah, Bill's going to talk about reverse mortgages on the show. That'll be fun. It's Radio Real Estate. Hello there. It's Tom Lucas with our co-host Andrea Jog of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing. Bill Macklem, the president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, is on the phone. Our producer is Dwayne Bishop, and you're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house. It's Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650.
CIL 650 is our brick house. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick house. I like lady stack, that's a fact.
That lady's what? I could never understand why you asked me to pick that song for you. That she's a brick house. Your farming area, that's what they call it in your business, right? The farming area, that's the area that your expertise is in.
That's right.
Is it Tri-Cities? Not only do you sell homes out there, luxury homes, smaller homes, bigger homes, you happen to, your office is out there and everything.
Everything.
Yeah, it's a great part of Vancouver to live in.
It sure is.
Tri-Cities.
Yeah, and I do really believe it's important to work with somebody that's an expert in their area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I go on MLS tour every Tuesday. I see all the new product coming out. You know, we're really engaged in that micro area, so we can really talk about real estate and what's happening there.
When Adil was on the air, we were talking about those $1 million homes, and I know that you have them in the Tri-Cities.
We do.
You have those lovely homes out there. Also, we were talking about SkyTrain coming out there, and it hasn't helped the area at all. What do you think?
Well, definitely. You know, it's nice to see people as I'm driving by the SkyTrain. They're really starting to utilize the using the SkyTrain and, you know, going into work and coming home. But it's more, again, for those people that are living in Suiterbrook Village, which is that Ani development right next to the SkyTrain. Or we have the Newport Village, which is like the little Whistler Village, and the homes in the surrounding area. So again, I think it really benefits the people that are living there that can walk to the SkyTrain and then, you know, head into Vancouver for work.
Are places like Ioko really artsy-fartsy?
I would say more Belcara is a little bit more artsy. Yeah. It has, you know, it's a little village. So it's a small little community. There is a mayor, you know, but people that have lived there a really long time. Ioko and that sort of part of Port Moody, we're actually like seeing more people move from North Vancouver and Vancouver. So, I mean, I'd say City of the Arts. That would be more Millardville down in Coquitlam, right? So that has more of that art feel.
I had a friend that was from the States. He used to call it Mallardville all the time. I said, no, it's Millardville. No, it's Mallardville. I said, no, it's Millardville.
I mean, Port Moody is known for City of the Arts. And when we say that, we have, you know, there's history in Port Moody. It's a nice community, right? So we try to, I think there's lots of opportunities for people to...
Is there an opportunity in the Tri-Cities for somebody, let's say they have a big home in the North Shore, to sell that home, put some cash in their purse, and then maybe move out to the Tri-Cities?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Definitely. And again, so for the people in the Tri-Cities, what I'm seeing as a trend is now they're selling their homes and the property values have gone up there, and they're going out more to Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge.
Oh, okay.
So for $800, a house in Maple Ridge right now, this development we're looking at with buyers, that same house in Coquitlam would be 1,516.
Interesting. Now, if somebody would like to get some more information about the Tri-Cities who would get in touch with you, how can they do so?
They can call me on my cell at 604-783-3124.
What's the number again?
604-783-3124.
And you have a website too?
We sure do. It's pinnaclegrouprealestatemarketing.com.
One more time?
pinnaclegrouprealestatemarketing.com.
All right, I'll give you a call after the show. Now I know your phone number and your website. Okay, it's Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650. Here's a little song for our friend Bill Macklem, who's in an airplane right now.
He's the mortgage man. He's the man. With the mortgage plan. Save you time, save you cash. Get that mortgage in a flash. Your custom plan, your strategy. Show you how you can live mortgage free. He's the mortgage man. He's the man. With the mortgage plan.
Boy, oh boy, has Mr. Macklem ever got a plan for you, right? Bill Macklem, what's on your mind today?
Thanks, Tom. Today we're going to talk about reverse mortgages. This is a kind of a very captivating kind of subject. A lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. How to use the funds in your home. Dangers are not really any. At the end of 3 years, you can pay the reverse mortgage off, so it's not as if you're stuck with this thing forever. What's happening is that if we think that values of homes are going to continue at the value increase they're having right now, obviously we're going to be seeing a huge growth. If you're in that 65 to 70 bracket, you've got some equity in your home, a little tight on cash flow, you might want to look at this. Do you advantages are lots of flexibility. You're going to lower your monthly costs for sure. For example, I had a client come in last week. They've got 3 children. And we said they've got such a minimum mortgage on their property, but they thought, like all of us, old school, let's pay off the debt. And I said to them, well, let's look at it a different way. So you want to give your kids some money, but not today. But at the same time, you don't want to get yourself trapped so you don't have any money left in your own home. So let's say we're going to take 3 $50,000 chunks today. We're going to take $150,000 out of the home. Now, because this is reverse mortgage, there's no cost to you to do that. We'll put the $50,000 in a MIC fund with our compatriot that's on the radio show here. So we'll use 3 $50,000 chunks. We'll put them into a MIC fund. They're returning about 7%. So if you put that in there for 10 years, you're going to have, at the end of that 10 years, a $100,000 gift that you're going to give your kids. So they've got a significant amount of money. It hasn't cost you $100,000 each for these children, and you still have your equity in your own home. They said, well, okay, that's really good because we can help our kids today without having to sell our house. That's really cool because we thought we were going to have to sell our house, downsize, get rid of the debt, help all the kids, and then we're going to be in a townhouse or a condo. Whereas if we stay in the house is growing in value every year by a minimum of 5%. That's what I'm using as a rate of increase. Therefore, they're going to continue growing the value of their home. So they said, okay, well, we don't have enough money, though, in terms of our cash flow right now. We're on pensions. Between the two of us, we're making about $3,000 a month. I said, well, what would you want to do? He said, well, if we could make $5,000 a month, that would be great. I said, let's look at that. If you had to take $2,000 out of your property every month on a reverse mortgage, so that has a cash flow advantage to it, that's going to cost you, like I said, $2,000 a month. If you look at a $1 million home, for example, in 5 years' time, that's worth 1.28 on a 5% increase. So if you look at the difference between 1 and 1.28, the growth is $283,000. If I divide that by 5 years, 60 months, that's a growth of $4,700 a month. If they're only taking out $2,000 a month to subsidize their income stream, they're not taking all the equity out of their home. They're still left with the $2,700 that's accruing in value. So they are nibbling a little bit at the equity in their home to help them live their life today. But what I say to people all the time is that this is the youngest you're going to be. Today is the youngest you're going to be in the next 5 years. So if you're not traveling to Greece or doing something special for the kids or traveling or living your life the way you want, you're going to miss it by the time you get this mortgage paid off. And by that time, maybe the kids don't want to travel with you. Maybe there's something health-wise wrong with you. So you got to be very careful. When you're taking the equity out of your home, it's much like going down the beach, building a sandcastle on the ocean, and you know you're going to build a moat all the way around it. But you know that over time, the tide will come in, and eventually they'll fill in that moat. So what you're doing with your home is that you're actually living off the increased value that it's accruing every month, and you're using that to stay where you are so that it's continuing to grow. So you're not losing anything. You're just not getting any further. In this case, here they are, because they're not spending all their extra money that they have accrued in the value of the property. They're only using half of it. So the property is still significantly increasing in value. So a reverse mortgage, you should talk to us. You can reach me anytime at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME. Bill Macklem for Radio Real Estate.
There's our friend Billy. He's going down to Cabo San Lucas. Going to be having lots of fun. He's on an airplane right now. It's amazing how he let the captain, or got the captain to give him his telephone. Talk to us.
Lucky guy.
Lucky guy, huh? Yeah. So what's coming up in the next segment of the program, Andrea?
In our next segment, we'll hear from Radio Real Estate home handyman Finn Jensen, who says if you live in British Columbia, you have a reason to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wanted to give people Bill's telephone number, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with Bill for expert mortgage information online, visit billymac.com. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, mac.com, or by calling Bill at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
Nicely done. This is Tom Lucas along with Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group of Real Estate Marketing. Bill Macklem is the president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages. Our producer is Dwayne Bishop, and you're listening to Radio Real Estate on CIL 650.
CIL 650. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in and stops my mind from wandering. I'm filling the cracks that ran through the door and kept my mind from wandering.
You're listening to Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy CIL 650. Nice to have you with us. It's daylight time here on the west coast of Canada. That means we've all lost an hour's sleep last night. It's not bothering me, is it? No, I'm fine. Okay, calm down, Tom. It's time now for the Radio Real Estate home handyman. His name is Finn Jensen. If he's not up on the roof, he's on the radio right now. Finn, hello there.
Good afternoon, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, as we continue into March, we see all the various dresses of Mother Nature. For many, that is the reason for their choice to live here. It provides plenty of opportunities to examine life as it is in some of the best places in the world. A quality of life not just measures of money values and growth charts. It's the inherent values of customs and the distribution of resources under democratic laws. Altogether, it's darn hard to beat. Yet, we will compare it with some other place because of warmer climates and cheaper this or less tax there. And plenty of Canadians visit those places and have a good time, return home with fond memories of fine people and interesting cultures. But here at home, it's not a cheap trick. It takes plenty of bucks to run a good show, and there may be periods when things look complicated, but it always comes around. Things are still new here, and we do things our own way. And through it all, we are envied. In for a quarter, in for $1. You get what you pay for. This is Vince Jensen for Radio Real Estate. Talk to you next week.
To keep your home warm and cozy, call Gentech Mechanical Installations 778-378-2740. That's 778-378-2740.
Did Finn just mention cheap trick?
I think he did.
I think he did too.
Only you would catch that, though.
Yeah. So Finn's number again is 778-378-2740, right?
Right.
All right, 778-278.
And ask to speak with Finn.
2740. Well, he might be up on the roof.
Oh,
oh, he'll get on. He'll come and talk to you. He's a good guy. So you've got to nip up because you're doing an open showing tonight, as a matter of fact.
I am.
Yeah.
So we have a beautiful listing in, actually at UBC.
UBC, yes.
So I'm headed all the way out there. And this is a gorgeous one-bedroom condo. And, to be honest, it's built by the developer Bastion. I've never seen such beautiful finishings. Sub-Zero and Miele appliances.
Really?
Heated flooring. Gorgeous hardwood flooring, huge center granite island, and it's not the quiet side, located on the quiet side of the university. So someone can get lots of studying done there.
Or partying.
Studying.
Did you ever go to UBC?
I did, actually.
Don't you remember your days at UBC?
Yeah, I sure do.
Sure do. Dads could be listening. Shush. Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of you during the week and talk about that UBC condo, is there a number they can call?
They sure can. They can call me at 604-783-3124. That's 604-783-3124.
Now, your prime area, of course, is the Tri-Cities, and we were talking briefly about the Tri-Cities. I'm asking you, I guess, what kind of people are moving into Tri-Cities? Younger people, older people, middle-aged people?
Again, a lot of people coming from Vancouver. So we're seeing more people move out from North Vancouver, young families wanting to be in Port Moody and actually up in Burke Mountains, a great area with new homes. So, yeah, we're getting lots of more young couples.
Are they building more condos out there?
We're hoping so. We don't have a lot of inventory in terms of land. So, more high-rises potentially because of, they take less space to build. But, I would say for a first-time home buyer coming out to Port Coquitlam, there's an area just by Costco that has tons of new developments there. So there's a good opportunity that way.
Maybe an update next week on the show.
You bet.
All right. Do we now know where you work, where you live is a different story? We'll find out next week. You going to be back with us?
I'll be back.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, I know you've got to run because you're doing a strange Sunday afternoon showing. Wow. Bill Macklem's on an airplane, but Bill will be back with us next week. Bill will be in Cabo San Lucas.
Lucky guy.
I'd be interested to find out how much properties are worth in Cabo San Lucas.
Me too.
You think we can get a discount because of my last name?
You could try.
We could try. No. Anyway, Andrea, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you to Mark Jock from Mark Craft Homes for being here. He did a great job as well. We demoed and redid the bathroom, right?
That's right.
What's on the list for next week? Do we know?
I think you know.
Well, okay. It'll be a surprise for everybody. Dwayne, thank you for being here. It's Radio Real Estate, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650. It's Tom Lucas. Thank you. Bye.